Hey there, the Japan Code here, and it's already been 6 months. Time really flies by. I know that's very cliche to say, but it's true. It really went by fast. So before I start with the 6 month update, obviously I just want to address the obvious change here with the title. This used to be called Learning Japanese through AJAT, and now it's Learning Japanese through the MIA. If you're part of Matt vs. Japan's Patreon, blah, 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 I can't talk right now, Patreon Discord, you probably know what this change is. But if you're not, then you're probably very confused. So I just want to address that. First of all, MIA stands for Mass Immersion Approach. Nothing's changed about the way I'm learning Japanese or anything like that. It's just that, like, for the longest time, we would just call Matt's approach to language learning as being an updated version of AJAT. But at this point, it's gotten like so much bigger than just AJAT that it would be unfair to call not only Matt's approach AJAT, but it would be unfair to Matt's approach to call it the same as AJAT, and it would also be unfair to AJAT, which is at this point a completely different thing. And so that's probably not the only reason, but that's one of the main reasons why I guess Matt gave it a name now, and so that's why I'm changing it to that name, the Mass Immersion Approach. Because when you think about it, I mean, that's what I've been doing from the start. I wasn't doing AJAT, I was doing MIA. It just didn't have a name at the time. Hence why I and others were calling it AJAT. So, like, if you're wondering what MIA is, it's the same, it's the same stuff that Matt has on his YouTube and his Patreon and Discord. Like, nothing's changed. It's not a different method. It just has a different name now. Or more, it has an actual name now. So yeah, now that that's out of the way, 6 month update. Well, first of all, my Anki streak is at 184 days. Of course, the only problem, I guess, with this is that I've noticed even if you do only one review, it seems to count it in the streak. It's not how many days you've done all your reviews. It's how many days you've actually done any sort of reviews, I think. But either way, I've actually done my reviews every day. There are some days that I was kind of iffy on them, that it took me way longer and I got a lot wrong compared to usual, but I still did it every single day. So 184 days, that's half a year. Well, obviously 6 months, half a year. So yeah, so obviously last time I had just finished RTK and I thought I would be done with Take Him by now and that I would be into sentence mining, but that didn't happen. There's two major reasons for that. Well, the first one is that there's actually more Take Him sentences than I thought. I thought it was about 400 sentences, but I'm currently at 450 sentences. And I'm not done whatsoever. There probably is 900 sentences, I would say. I've still got a bit to go, but the main reason why, because by now I could be much further. Just by a quick calculation, I could probably actually be done with it right now. Is that for about, I don't know, I'll say 10 days. It's between a week and a half. That I didn't do any new cards because of, the good old sleep issues. And on top of that, there's 1 week where I didn't do any new cards whatsoever either, because I have actually started selling all of my English video games. And when I put them online for sale, I got bombarded with offers. So it took like all of my free time, or just about all of my free time. And so with what little bit of free time I did have, I obviously prefer to use it on Immersion instead of new cards. So that's why I didn't do any new cards on those days. I'm not even done with selling the video games, but I'm kind of taking a break now. I finished like all the offers that I had. I'm just gonna wait until I post what's left for now, I'm just gonna take a break here, and this time I'll be more ready for it. I'll expect the fact that a lot of people are gonna ask. And I have like a little setup now with an Excel spreadsheet that helps me keep track of it. But I didn't have that at the start. That's why it was so bad. So anyways, yeah. So that's why I'm not done with Take Aim yet. So far for Take Aim, I was doing between 10 and 15 sentences is what I was shooting for. But if like I don't know what you call it, a chapter, a lesson, I guess, had like up to 20, I would just finish it and do them all. But if it was above 20, then I just split it in two. So like if there's 24, I'll do like not exactly 12. I'll go like with how it's separated. It might be 14-10 or something like that. But I try to always be somewhere between 10 and 15 per day, except again on exceptions. And of course, except the days I didn't do any. So yeah, I think I probably have like another month of it before I actually finish it. So little stats for the sentences. Like I said, I had 550 cards. I have 550 cards. Out of the mature reps that I've done, I've only done 90 mature reps, but I had that as 98%. But there's not a lot of them yet, so it doesn't really mean much. In total, though, I have 288 mature cards and 262 young. So I guess that's going fine. Then for the kanji, obviously I didn't learn any new ones, but my retention rate for mature cards is at 78% right now, which I know is low, but I believe is better than it was. I'm pretty sure it was. It went as low as 72 at some point. So me increasing the decreasing the interval has been helping. Obviously, that means more reviews, but then it's more. I review more those that I need to review more, right? So that's good. I have 2,919 mature kanji and 88 young ones. So I'm getting there. There's not too many young ones left. And the total amount of reviews that I've done in the past 6 months is 30.5 thousand. That's actually pretty cool. So yeah, recently I also started making a sentence bank. Like I'd be doing subs to SRS with a couple of shows that I've already watched, and that I have subtitles for. So I think I have like 80,000 cards in that sentence bank. But that's what I'm going to be using for my sentence mining at first. Like what I intend on doing with once I get to sentence mining, I'm gonna go through those decks. And I'll go through them quickly, kind of like Brit vs Japan. He has a video on that. But I'm just I go through it quickly, and whatever has like only words that I know or that I actually understand, I'll just delete it. Whatever has words that I don't know, I'll suspend. And then whatever is actually a I+1 sentence, then I'm gonna like take the card and move it to another deck. Then I don't know how I'll go about it just yet, but I think like during the weekend I'll try to get enough to last me the whole week, so that way I don't have to do like the sentence mining part during the week. I can just actually make the cards that I need and learn them. And so yeah, once I get like a good enough amount, then I'll transfer them to my sentence deck and or switch profile first of all, and then actually make the cards. So I think that's how I'm going to go about it. I'll go through those shows that I have cards made for, but I might also like add some new stuff. And I know how I'm going to do the cards is I'm going to have like 2 versions for each. One that's audio, like only has audio on the front, and then another one that has the actual text on the front. So that way I test my reading and my listening. That does mean double the reviews. But that also means that the reviews themselves are going to be easier because, they're going to reinforce each other. So I'll try that out and I'll see how that goes. Let's see, where am I? Yeah, so like I said, I started selling video games. My original plan was to sell them so I can, just buy new video games in Japanese. Well, not new, but like, just buy some back and buy stuff I never had and stuff like that. But instead I ended up just, being sensible about it and putting the money on my credit card because I do have some debts to pay. So yeah, there's not much else to say about that actually. My immersion's been pretty good. I watched a lot of anime as per usual, except in the past week where I've actually been watching mostly YouTube videos. And that's not actually a bad thing. Obviously, that's a good thing. But I did feel guilty about it at first. And I realized that the reason for that is because, like, in the past I would use YouTube to procrastinate. But now, obviously, watching YouTube in Japanese is actually a very productive thing. I get to hear some unscripted, or mostly unscripted, most of the time, Japanese, whereas with anime it's all scripted. So obviously it's a bit different than how people actually speak. So at least with YouTube, it's a lot closer to how people would speak if they're not like in front of a camera. So yeah, now I'm trying not to feel guilty about it. And another reason is just because I've always had this thing where, like, I kind of feel like I need to have some sort of metric to prove to myself, I guess, what I'm doing. Like, at first I was trying to track how much time I was spending on immersion, and I'd have like a timer, and I'd always switch, like, oh, now I'm doing Anki, now I'm doing active immersion, active listening, now passive listening, blah blah blah, and I'd have time, and I dropped that because that was not very good for my mental health. But I still had this little thing, like, I use AniList. Before I used my anime list, now I use AniList, and it shows you like the total time watched and like total episodes or total shows or whatever. And like, I definitely always like pay attention to these numbers, and I really want not to. And that's another reason why I felt guilty about watching YouTube, is because I wasn't increasing those numbers. But that doesn't matter. The only thing that really matters is, that I'm actually immersing. And my sleep schedule has actually been consistent for once. I've been going to bed at 7:30 just about every day, and getting up at 4 a.m. again just about every day. Of course, the sleep quality is the same as before. It's not very good, but I've actually been like pretty constant about the timing of it. Then the meditation. I've actually been doing meditation daily now. For the past 2 months, I didn't skip a single day, so that's great. I'm still doing 10 minutes a day, but next weekend, actually, I'm going to reread the early stages of The Mind Illuminated, and then I'm going to up to 15 minutes, because this morning, when my alarm rang for the 10 minutes, I was like, really? Already? I want more, and then that's my cue to increase the time. Seems to happen about every 2 months-ish, so yeah. So I'll go up to 15 next weekend. And then the other point is my diet. I've actually been going through some like tough times as far as diet is going, like having cheats, like eating stuff that I'm not supposed to eat. But I'm trying not to beat myself up over it, because when you think about it, it's a pretty big change going from like essentially the standard American diet to a whole food plant-based diet overnight, essentially. That's a big change. So just the fact that I'm doing it is a lot better for me. So I can focus like on the few times where I didn't follow it. Overall, it's still, an amazing accomplishment, I would say. And also now I'm at what the hell, big fly. I'm at 215 pounds. Or 98 kilograms. So that means I've actually gone under 100 kilograms, which is awesome. I think when I made my video 2 months ago, I was at 225. So that's pretty good. And when I made the change itself, I was at 235. So I'm kind of curious to see how I'm going to be at the end of, at the beginning of October, actually, in my next update video, which is going to be at 9 months, because now I'm going to do 3 months. Like I did 2, 4, 6, and I'm going to do 9, 12, and I'll do 18, 24, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that seems to be it. So I guess my goals for the next video, the next update, like I said, it's going to be at the 9 months mark. So technically on October 10th. It's probably not going to be exactly on October 10th, but that's when the 9 month mark is. The only thing though to keep in mind is that very soon at work, it's going to start being busy, and I'm going to have to do overtime, which sucks. But it is what it is. But that does mean that I'm going to have to slow down a little bit while that happens. It's probably going to be like August, September, October, and maybe a little part of November. So like, you know, it really sucks. But at least I get to do passive, right? It's better than nothing. Yeah, it's okay. My goals, I guess, is to finish Take Him in a month. I would very much like to be done with it. I'm not actually finding it boring, like some people, but you know, obviously I know once I get to sentence mining, it's going to be a lot more fun than you know, just doing Take Him. So once I finish Take Him in hopefully a month, I want to do 10 to 15 sentences from sentence mining per day. So that would get me in 2 months 600 to 900 sentences. Of course, I'm saying sentences because if I'm doing 2 cards per sentence, it's going to be double the cards. But as far as sentences, you know, I would be between 600 and 900. That's the goal. Obviously, you know, keep immersing as much as I possibly can. I also want to make sure I don't like feel guilty about the kind of immersion that I do. Obviously, like there's some that are better than others, but what I mean is like, you know, back to the metric thing. You know, if I watch YouTube video, then I watch YouTube videos. If that's what was fun to me at the time, then that's great. You know. It doesn't matter that I don't have some metric increasing, and you know, it doesn't matter. For meditation, at that point, I want to be 20 minutes per day. So, like I said, next weekend I'm going to be going to 15 minutes per day. But I'm assuming about 2 months from now, then I should be fine for going up to 20 minutes, which would be great. And then for diet, obviously, I want to, you know, try to reduce how many cheats I have. And as far as weight, I would like to be, I don't know, 3 months, maybe 200 pounds, 91 kilograms, somewhere around there. You know, if I don't make it, it's not the end of the world. But as long as I've gone down from now, then that's what really matters. So yeah, this this went on for longer than I wanted to. I actually had a pretty bad night sleep-wise last night, so I'm kind of like, but. Yeah, I wanted to get this done. I also had some recording issues, which made this take longer. And it's also really warm. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of like all over the place, and I'm kind of like squinting and blah, blah. It's because my head is kind of pounding right now. But I said, I wanted to get this done. So that's it for this video, and I will see you guys in 3 months. Bye.